Hello, welcome to my student support system. In today's class, we will discuss about diarrhea in children. This lecture is in English, and if you want to study in Hindi, just click on I button and you will get link of Hindi lecture, or you can directly visit my student support system channel. What is diarrhea? Diarrhea is defined as the condition of having at least 3 loose watery or liquid stools each day. It is the consistency of the stool rather than the number that is most important. Frequent passing of formed stool is not diarrhea. When the frequency of loose stool increases, it leads to dehydration, which is a complication of diarrhea. Clinical types of diarrhea. It is very easy to classify the diarrhea, and if we can classify the diarrhea, we can follow a special treatment schedule. It is most practical to base the treatment of diarrhea on clinical type of illness or diarrhea, which can easily be determined when the child is first examined. 4 clinical types of diarrhea can be recognized. First is acute watery diarrhea, including cholera, which lasts several hours to days. The main danger of this type of diarrhea is the weight loss, dehydration, and weight loss normally occur if feeding is not continued during diarrhea. Acute bloody diarrhea, which is also known as dysentery. The main danger are damage to the intestinal mucosa, sepsis, and malnutrition. Third type is persistent diarrhea or chronic diarrhea, which lasts 14 days or longer. The main danger of this type of diarrhea is malnutrition and serious non-intestinal infections. Diarrhea with severe malnutrition, including marasmus and kwashiorkor. This is most serious type of diarrhea, and the main danger are severe systemic infections, dehydration, even heart failure, vitamin and mineral deficiency in the child. What are the causes of diarrhea? If we are able to understand the causes, we can prevent them. Diarrhea is caused by many factors such as infections, dietary factors, food intolerances, medical and surgical conditions, and medicines. Now we will discuss them one by one. First is infection. Infectious diarrhea is most commonly caused by viruses, bacteria, fungus, and parasites. Virus pass from one person to another very easily by eating, drinking food and water which is contaminated with the virus, such as rotavirus, astrovirus, and norovirus. Bacterial infections such as Salmonella, Campylobacter, E. coli, and Shigella. Fungal infection such as Candida albicans, or parasitic infections such as Cryptosporidium, Entamoeba histolytica, and Giardia lamblia. They can lead to lambia. They can lead to diarrhea. Dietary factors. Dietary factors include drinking alcohol, which can cause diarrhea in some person. Fatty foods can worsen diarrhea. So it is a good idea to avoid fatty foods such as meats with a higher fat contents, especially during diarrhea. Fiber-rich foods, excess fruits and vegetables, excessive use of dairy products, coffee, tea, and sweeteners. Food intolerances. There are certain food intolerances which are metabolic errors in the body, such as lactose intolerance, also known as allergy to milk, gluten intolerance, also known as allergy to wheat, caffeine intolerance, allergy to coffee, amine intolerance, fermented food allergy, etc. leads to food intolerances, diarrheas. Medical surgical conditions. Medical conditions resulting in diarrhea includes inflammatory bowel disease, that is ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, celiac disease or known as irritable bowel syndrome. They can lead to diarrhea. And surgical condition includes all the surgeries involving small and large intestine lead to diarrhea, but this is of temporary type, subsides automatically. Some medicines can also cause diarrhea as a side effect. Antibiotics are the common example. They can disrupt the balance of bacteria in the gut or GIT, which can lead to diarrhea. Other examples of medicine-induced diarrhea are antacids and diabetic tablets. Sign and symptoms of diarrhea. First is loose stool, then painful abdominal cramps, nausea, fever, bloating, generalized weakness, and other symptoms of dehydration such as increased thirst, lack of energy, decreased urine output than normal, dizziness or lightheadedness, loss of skin turgor. This can be identified by pinching the skin and releasing it. If it goes very slowly, then it is presence of diarrhea and loss of skin turgor. Diagnostic investigations. Diagnostic investigations starts just after entering the child in the OPD. Taking history and physical examination are best for classifying the diarrhea, and then we can go for serum electrolytes and stool examination. Management of diarrhea. The main focus of diarrhea management is to prevent or treat dehydration. Oral rehydration therapy is the best line of action. Zinc sulfate tablets are also given to the child. Antibiotics may be needed for bacterial diarrhea. WHO recommended ORS or homemade ORS may be used for oral rehydration therapy. In severe dehydration, hospitalization may be needed with IV fluid therapy. Most fluids that the child normally takes can be used. Fluids that normally contain salt may be used to prevent dehydration, such as ORS solution, which is best, salted drinks like salted rice water or salted yogurt drink, vegetable or soup, chicken soup with salt, homemade solution containing 3 gram or 1 level teaspoon salt and 18 gram or 6 level teaspoon sugar mixed in 1 liter of water is effective. Unsuitable fluids. There are some fluids which are potentially dangerous, especially during diarrhea. The important drinks which are sweetened with sugar can cause osmotic diarrhea and hypernatremia. Some examples are commercially carbonated beverages, commercial fruit juices, and sweetened tea. This should be avoided during diarrhea. The general rule is to give as much fluid to the child or adult as he wants or until diarrhea stops. As a guide, after each stool, the child below 2 years should be given 50 to 100 ml of fluid or ORS. Children aged to 2 to 10 years should be given 100 to 200 ml ORS or fluid, and older children or adults than 10 years, they should take as much fluid as they can drink. Zinc can also be given as a syrup or dispersible tablets, whichever formulation is available or affordable. By giving zinc as soon as diarrhea starts, the duration and severity of episodes as well as the risk of dehydration will be reduced. By continuing zinc sulfate 20 mg per day for 10 to 14 days, normally for 14 days, the zinc lost during diarrhea is fully replaced and the risk of child having new episodes of diarrhea in following 2 to 3 months is reduced. Prevention of diarrhea. The key measures that can prevent diarrhea include access to safe drinking water. Mostly diarrhea spreads through fecal-oral route, so safe drinking water or use of fresh food can prevent diarrhea. Use of improved sanitation. Clean environment is a key measure to prevent all types of infection including diarrhea. Hand washing with soap. Hand washing is the best and easy procedure to prevent infections. We must wash hand before eating or even touching the mouth. Exclusive breastfeeding for first 6 months. Breastfeeding provides immunity against many infections and it also reduces exposure to unhygienic milk formulas or hazards of bottle feeding. Good personal hygiene. Not only environmental hygiene but personal hygiene also prevents spread of infections as well as diarrhea. Good food hygiene. Well cooked food should be given to reduce chances of spread of infection. Fruits should be eaten after properly washing, cutting or peeling. Health education about how the infection spreads. Parents should be explained about the causes and preventive measures of diarrhea and use of ORS. Awareness is the best policy to prevent spread of infections. Then rotavirus vaccination. Rotavirus vaccination, which is given as 5 drops orally and it is given at the age of 6 weeks, 10 weeks and 14 weeks. This prevents rotavirus induced diarrhea. Watching this type of videos, you can visit My Student Support System YouTube channel and you can subscribe it so that you can gets updated videos notification. Like Facebook page My Student Support System, and for making your notes, watching the contents, you can visit Blogger mynursingstudents.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and join Facebook group Nursing Notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.